welcome back to Beauty Bee and to this junk drawer of a video. This is going to be a mini declutter, a mini haul, a mini update on my no-buy, just everything rolled into one. So let's just quick overview. My current no-buy rules are that I go on 3-month no-buys at a time. So for example, my most recent one began on August 1st and was scheduled to end on the 1st of November. On that 1st of November, I was allowed to spend $35 on whatever color cosmetics I wanted, areas where I am likely to purchase more than I would use. So for me, that's lipsticks and cheek products, eyeshadow, nail polish, those sorts of things that I actually do change up on a day-to-day basis rather than just panning one and then moving on to the next product. And it's not been going that well, hence why we have a mini haul. I had actually been doing pretty well with this. I've been sort of doing it since last November and really focusing on it since March. And I've not been doing great. I'm fine personally. I'm actually extremely fortunate. My financial situation is fine. My health is fine. My family is all fine. I'm good. But I've been very nervous about the state of the country I live in, which is the United States, recently. And that stress plus the stress of just having been home and having, my entire normal routine upended has really been getting to me the last few weeks. And I need a coping mechanism, even if it's not a fantastic coping mechanism. I know that I won't overspend to the point where it will impact my future financial goals or my choices going forward. So I'm getting rid of the strict part of my no-buy, and I'll be moving to a beauty budget of $15 a month. This budget covers all makeup as well as nail stuff and little hair accessories and just the little categories where I tend to go into Target and I need to pick me up what's under $5, those kinds of things. So I'm a little bit disappointed that my no-buy didn't work out in the way that I originally intended, though I guess I'm not particularly surprised at this point. In November of 2019, I could not have pictured where I would be now in October of 2020. Things are insane. And I do think that the first half to 2/3 of my no-buy went really very well. And I'm certainly not out of control. I am vegetarian, so I am very able to cut out certain food groups, for example, but I've never successfully dieted in a way that was like, you're not going to eat any chocolate, you're not going to eat any sugar. That just makes me want to eat that particular food group. So I lost around 40 pounds about 2 years ago, and I did it by counting calories, by giving myself a budget and allowing myself to eat whatever I wanted within reason to hit that budget, and it worked really well for me. So why not apply the same idea to cosmetics and not be in sort of a feast or famine cycle all the time? So it'll be $15 a month, and I have actually already spent my $15 for October, so I'll show you those now. I purchased 3 Revlon lipsticks on sale at Target. I think they were $2.50 each, so great deal. I got Secret Club, which is a cream finish lipstick, and it's what I'm wearing today. It is very pretty. Big fan. I got, let's not roll off the couch, thank you. I got Sassy Mauve, which is sort of a mauvey nude. I'm gonna keep saying it's very pretty because they are. And I bought Cherries in the Snow, which I've actually wanted for quite a while. I feel like this looks very red in the bullet, but it comes off quite a bright purpley red with a little bit of pink on the lips. Again, very pretty. I wore this yesterday and it has great staying power. I was really surprised because these are all three actually creme finishes in Revlon Super Lustrous line, but I wore this, I ate dinner, and it wasn't perfect. I mean, I don't expect it to be perfect after I eat, but it was in fairly good shape. I had all my lip line was still looking good. I had a little bit of wear just right at the center of my lower lip. Easy to fill in, everything was fine. So I'm very impressed with this. And now we move to the declutter portion. And I think I should make it clear that this is a haul and a declutter because they're somewhat connected, not because I want to do a system of bring one in, toss one out. I think that is a totally reasonable strategy for some people, but it's just not what I want to do. I don't want to feel like I need to punish myself for purchasing something, and I feel like that is what that would devolve into very quickly for me personally. So I realized that I have a type, and two of the lipsticks I purchased are almost identical to ones that I had currently in my collection. Now this e.l.f. one, which is in Berry Sorbet, is very, very close to the shade Cherries in the Snow. I think you can see that those are not identical, but they are so incredibly similar that I don't feel any need to keep both. It's kind of strange. Cherries in the Snow, first of all, I just like the packaging better. I like the formula better. This is somehow more dry and more matte, but it doesn't wear as well as this does. This transfers everywhere. I don't know exactly what motion I do, but somehow my bottom lip will occasionally touch my chin, and I'll just get a little line of some lipstick right here. This one is the worst for that. I'm always keeping an eye on it and always cleaning it up throughout the day. This one did not give me as many problems with transfer. I like the Revlon formula better than I like the e.l.f. formula. It just goes on a little bit better. And overall, I just don't feel like this is a color that I will go through 2 products worth of. So I'm just gonna get rid of this one. It's starting to get a little on the older side. I would say this is at the probably 1.5 year mark. Not been wearing it a whole lot, even though I like the color, because the formula is just not great. Sassy Mauve happens to be very, very similar to the Maybelline Pink for Me. However, I'm keeping both of these. Previously, Maybelline Pink for Me was sort of my desk lipstick. It just sat in my desk at work, and during the day, if I had forgotten my lipstick or I just didn't feel like reapplying whatever I originally had on, this was the go-to. And because it is such an easy to wear, everyday goes with anything kind of lipstick, I think I will likely pan this at some point. And even if I don't, it is the type of product where I would be quite happy to keep one of these in my desk at work if and when I eventually get to go back, and keep the other one at home to just use in the morning. And this is not a new acquisition. This is my Flower Beauty Rosy Garden Petal Pout lipstick. I'm gonna give that a swatch right here. And you can see it's actually not that dissimilar from Cherries in the Snow and Berry Sorbet, but it's different enough that I want to keep this color around. However, this Wet n Wild Wine Room is almost identical to it. And somehow it's looking a lot more different in the viewfinder than it looks in person, but these are quite similar. They certainly give me a very similar look, and I just know that I will choose the flower one over the Wet n Wild every single time. This packaging is awful. I don't like this format of a lipstick. There's no tip whatsoever to this, which is fine for nudes or softer pinks, but for something this bright, it's kind of a pain. And the lid pops off, which is also not something I want really on any lipstick, but especially not on one that's this bright, because the inside of my bag, I don't want it to be this color. So that is going to go as well. Now I have one more item that I'm going to be getting rid of, and that is this sleek mini palette. This is in the When the Sun Goes Down. And let's me not blind you maybe. I don't know how well you are going to be able to see this, but this shade, and this shade are all gone. I used, I believe, these two in a Franken Shadow that I've used several times on my channel. It's sort of a brownish gold, and last night I combined this shade and a little bit of this light gold into this shade, which I'll give you a swatch. It doesn't come off quite as pretty in the pan as it looks on the skin. That was a really bad swatch because I went over a bone, but there we are. It's this very pretty copper. I just thought this would make my Wet n Wild Current Baroque a little bit more of a complete palette. The two shimmers in this are pretty lackluster, quite literally, meaning they lack luster. They're not very shiny. And while I like them, I just don't feel that they're that impressive. And I thought the berry shade that was in there was really a dud. It had absolutely awful pigmentation. So I decided to put this copper in. This is a very metallic copper. I mean, you can see the way the light catches that. It's really lovely. And I just thought it would go well with the warmer tones and make a little bit more of a complete palette. So my sleek palette has now been emptied of all the shades that I really liked in it. So I think I'm going to toss this. This is an older item too. I want to say this is probably 2.5, 3 years old at this point. So I'm going to toss this. Right. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll consider liking and subscribing if you did. I really hope to see you next time. Bye!